I want to spend as much time as I can with my kids. Other than that, non-existent sounds amazing. That's the part that sounds the best.
Hey there, my name is Sean, and this is Suicide Noted. On this podcast, I talk with suicide attempt survivors and ideators so that we can hear their stories. Every year around the world, millions and millions of people try to take their own lives, and we almost never talk about it. We certainly don't talk about it enough. And when we do talk about it, many of us, when we engage, when we listen or try, we're not very good at it. Most of us are quite bad at it. So one of my goals with this podcast is to have more conversations and hopefully better conversations with survivors, in large part to help more people in more places hopefully feel a little less shitty and a little less alone. Now, if you are a suicide attempt survivor or ideator and you'd like to talk, please reach out. hello@suicidenoted.com. I'd love to speak with you. This is, of course, our final episode of 2025. Now, I am not much for numbers, but let me share a few with you. Perhaps you are curious. We have spoken with guests from 24 countries, and in the next few months, that will be a few more, 25, 26, 27. They're lined up, ready to go. 46 states. For some reason, I have not spoken to anybody from Alabama, Delaware, West Virginia, or Tennessee. And that's okay. It's curious. I wonder why. Where are you? What's happening in those states? We are north of 300 conversations, and during 2025, we had some goals. We met some of them. We didn't meet some of the others. But of course, there was the national tour. That was a pretty big deal. The launching of a speakers network, which is getting started right now, and so you'll be hearing more about that soon. There are, of course, more things I want to do. I've been wanting to do that we are either doing slowly or shelving. For example, I'd love to make a documentary using some of the footage from the tour and some other stuff. I'd like to continue transcribing and translating our episodes. We have started. We're making some progress. It's slow, but we are doing it. And thanks for everyone involved. However you are involved in all of these projects, I really appreciate it. Of course, to my guests, to my listeners, all of you, thank you. A special thanks to one of my past guests who has been helping for several months with social media, among other things, very important things, Ambient in Canada. She's not the kind of person who wants public attention, but I do think she has earned that public attention, so thank you very much. I appreciate it. And there are others. You know who you are. I appreciate it. I'm doing this work. I'm going to keep doing this work. It has been challenging, but there is no shortage of people who want to talk, so I will continue to do my very best to speak with them as best I can, to edit as best I can, and to do new things, some of which I've mentioned, so that, mostly, in large part, more people in more places can feel a little less shitty and a little less alone. And, let me say it, I'd like to make a living doing this, because I think I'm pretty good at it, and I think it's important. That part's been tough, but I'm going to keep doing that as best I can. You can check the show notes or the podcast description to learn more about this podcast, including our social media platforms, other ways you can get a hold of me. If you'd like to make a tax-deductible contribution, we could always use the help there. And do keep in mind, rating and reviewing on Apple helps a lot, and so does responding to those polls in Spotify. Our final one of 2025 centers on resolutions. Oh man, those things. Not really my jam, but it might be yours. Check it out. Respond. I want to hear from you. Thanks. Now, finally, as you probably know, we're talking about suicide on this podcast. My guests and I do not hold back, so please take that into account before you listen or as you listen. But I do hope you listen because there remains so much to learn. Today, I am talking with Nick. Nick lives in Michigan, and he is a suicide attempt survivor. Hey, Nick, in Michigan. How did we find each other?
I was looking up some suicidal stuff on Spotify, trying to find like a music playlist. I came across your podcast. Kind of became addicted to it, actually.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I want to be creating addicts, but if you're going to be addicted to something, it's better than crack, probably, right?
I would say so.
I've never been addicted to crack, but I think it's probably not great. What about you? Any addictions?
Been tempted, but I've seen what it does to people around me. I've lost a few friends to heroin and stuff.
Why do you have I'm the podcast, so why is your mic nicer than mine?
I game a lot, so I figured I would get a Yeti mic.
All right, a gamer. I gotcha. Thanks for being here. Thanks for talking with me.
Of course.
How many episodes have you listened to?
Just about all of them.
Wow. And when did you find the podcast?
About a year ago. I usually listen to it while I'm working.
What kind of work are you doing?
I paint houses.
Oh, cool. Have you attempted to take your life?
I have a few times. I've wanted to reach out a few times, but I'm a pretty nervous person. I looked you up on TikTok, and then I saw that it said that you had viewed my profiles, and then I was like, yeah, I'll send an email.
Well, who knew that would be the difference? All right. Well, you don't seem nervous. I don't know. You might be petrified, but I guess you don't have these conversations every day, though maybe you do.
I actually don't talk about it a lot at all, to be honest.
Have you ever tried?
I have. People kind of treat you like you're a case to fix or something like that, and it just doesn't resonate with me. Like, nobody really sits down and listens to what you have to say when you say that you're thinking about suicide.
I don't know if it resonates with anybody. That's the weirdest thing about all of it. It's like it doesn't ever work. My take. People will disagree. You would just think if it almost never works, why would people still do it? Why would they still try to do this stupid shit where it's like, you're not helping? You know, like that's maladaptive. That's weird, strange, arguably insane behavior to keep doing the same shit. So you're in Michigan. I happen to be in Colorado. You're actually the first person I've talked to since I've been on tour. I had 20 straight days of nonstop. So now I'm settled in for a few days in Colorado. Lovely, lovely area I'm in, by the way. Mountains, crisp air, big sun. Highly recommend. Not like Michigan.
Pretty jealous. I love mountains, being outside in nature.
I'm mostly in a hotel room, but still I can see the mountains and see maybe if I had like a telescope, I could see people on the mountains. But how old are you?
I'm 30.
When was your first attempt? How old were you?
I can't remember the age, but I was in 8th grade. And that was like my first knowing attempt.
What does that mean, knowing attempt?
Actual, like, intended, that's what I was trying to do.
So before then you had an attempt where it wasn't that way?
Kind of, yeah. It's like I did a lot of risky behavior, not really knowing what suicide was at the time. I mean, I've been thinking about not being alive since I can remember. Like, the earliest I can remember was about 3.
Wow, that's young. Okay.
I definitely did not have an easy life, that's for sure. Start off was pretty rough.
Do you think some people, perhaps including you, are born with that thing where they think about it?
I think that people could be born with just like a thing of not wanting to be here. I don't think that is my case per se. Like, I had a family friend, even pictures of me in the hospital, she's there. And she ended up abusing me and like tearing apart my family and all that good shit.
Wait, hold up. All right, we'll get into that. What was one of the things you do? What was the riskiest thing you used to do? Don't hold back now, Nick. Come on now.
I used to jump from trees, and I lived in a trailer park, and I would jump off of like the roof of the trailer a lot, usually trying to like land somewhere where it would damage me.
You just might have been training to be a wrestler. Could have been a good thing too.
I did do wrestling for a little bit. I was in the newspaper. This was like when I was like, I think I was like 6 or 7. It was a while ago.
And at 14, 8th grade, how did you try to end your life?
So I've always been kind of a recluse, especially in school. And being self-isolated, I got picked on a lot by other kids. There was this one kid who kept like bullying me a lot. And he had put a rope in my backpack with a note that said, "Nobody will miss you." That was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. I went home and I put it up and tried to hang myself. It was on a tree behind where I was living. I didn't know any better, and I didn't check the branches or anything, and so it snapped.
That seemed to happen a lot to people. All right, so you tie something at 14. You wanted to die? You wanted out.
Yeah, I wanted to not exist anymore.
Because you had said somebody said those shitty things to you, but you also mentioned a few minutes ago that you had I think you said rough life or rough go. So what, I know it's hard because I'm asking to summarize a life, but what was going on in, birth to 14 that was rough?
I got abused by the family friend sexually, physically, and emotionally. There was a point where we lived with her and her husband. And then she had kind of like manipulated me and like brainwashed me kind of to accuse my dad and my grandma of doing stuff that they didn't do. And then I got taken away from my mom by CPS. I ended up going back, but the family friend tried to adopt me.
It's interesting when you said you were abused by a family friend. I just immediately thought of a man.
It was not. It was a woman. Yeah, that's about what kickstarted it all.
Let me ask you a question I don't typically ask. This is going to be probably even harder to admit, should it be true, than wanting to end your own life. Did you want to kill her?
There was a few times growing up where I thought about that. I was about 9 to 11 when my mom finally said enough is enough, and we cut all ties with her because they didn't really know what was happening because I kind of kept it all to myself.
But they found out.
Yeah, they ended up finding out that she was a monstrous human being.
Does it stop at some point?
That abuse does when we cut off all contact with her.
A few years later, rope, tree, fall to the ground, I assume.
Yeah.
Tell anyone?
No, I've actually never told anybody that one.
And then when you go back to school, I mean, the guy was a guy, right, who was saying those shitty things to you?
Yeah.
He's still around, right? Unless you took him out.
No, he's, I don't know what he's up to, but he's still around, yeah.
Well, I mean, he was around the day after you tried to kill yourself, too.
When that didn't work, I had started to self-harm. My mom saw that, and she admitted me into the hospital. I think 14 days I was in the hospital the first time, and that was right after.
Like a juvenile psych unit?
Yeah.
How was that experience?
It wasn't bad. A lot of people have like very negative things to say about hospitals, but I found it like addicting to go. I ended up going a good handful of times throughout my life. It just kind of feels like, at least in my experience, it was the only place where people actually cared about how I was doing.
I mean, I do rip on hospitals, and a lot of people do, but I'm glad to hear when it's not that way, for sure. Really.
They have really good microwavable pizzas.
Well, I've been in 2 of them, and I actually think the only thing I could say that didn't suck was, well, one, some of the other patients that I got to know was cool. And I was an adult for both of them, but the other is the food. Not that it was like amazing gourmet 5-star, but it wasn't bad.
It's definitely better than what I was making at home.
Yeah. Did you finish high school?
I graduated 3 years late, but I still did graduate.
All right. What got in the way?
I had a kid at 17.
Oh, shit. Hold up.
I slept around a lot from a really young age.
Wait, hang on one second. This is an interesting thing to hear. But so are you just a stone cold player? Like what? No, I'm being serious because like you just don't hear that so often.
I don't know. I would say no. I'm very nervous and like shy and like don't like people.
They like you.
I guess.
Maybe they felt safe with you.
Yeah, I don't know. It was something to do. I would go get drunk at parties and end up hooking up with a bunch of chicks. And
one of them got pregnant.
So funny story about that one. My son's mom is very straight edge, like almost goody goody two shoes. I was trying to hook up with one of her friends and then found out that she lived really close to me, like a 2-minute walk from my house. And so I was like, oh, sweet, easy, easy lay. And
Wait. See, now I'm a different kid than you are at that age. This case, straight edge, she gets pregnant.
Yeah. She ended up getting pregnant. Like, so my birthday is March 1st and my son's birthday is March 12th. So I had just turned 17 when he was born.
That must be an interesting experience at that age.
Probably could have handled it a lot better. Her and my relationship fizzled out. Since it fizzled out, she didn't let me see my son. So it took about 6 years until I was able to actually get visitation with him.
Are you living with your parents at the time?
Yeah, I was. So my parents are divorced, but I was living with my mom at the time.
What'd she think of her son having a child?
So she had just got back from getting groceries and she was bringing in the eggs.
wait. The specificity here is absolutely epic. Okay, go on.
As soon as she walked in, I just held the pregnancy test up in her face and she dropped the eggs and they like splattered all over the floor.
Do you think that was more of like, I'm so happy or I'm so shocked or what the fuck what happened? Like, what do you think it was? You know her. I mean,
Oh, she was so mad. Oh, she was so heated.
what about your dad? What did he say?
My dad, I love my dad, but he's more of the relaxed kind of, he got me a bunch of alcohol and cigarettes and stuff when I was underage. He was one of those kind of.
Gotcha. In your teenage years, and your first attempt was at 14, but you're drinking, you're partying, busy with the young ladies. You're a dad at 17. Eventually, you finish high school. I mean, this may have, I don't assume the second attempt is after all this. When's the second attempt?
The beginning of my 9th grade year.
Okay, so not a long time between first and second.
No.
Was that the same method? Did you try to hang yourself?
Tried cutting my arms.
At home?
Yeah.
Was your mother home? Do you remember?
Her and I got into a really big argument, so I had cut my arms and then like showed her.
Oh, okay. Was that like the first one? Because the first one was like you wanted out. Is this different?
It was. I still wanted out. I don't know. I just kind of like look like if you don't do something with this right now, like I'm probably gonna go.
As best you recall, like how often are you thinking about it? Let's call it ideating, right? Like thinking about ending your life. Is that a everyday thing? Once in a while?
Oh, definitely every day.
More than 10 years.
Yeah.
Wow. So on all the other days, minus 2 days that you didn't try, what stops you from trying?
Laziness?
Okay.
I don't know. I'm also a really big video gamer, so if I'm playing video games, then I kind of get out of my head a little bit. Same with like Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering and stuff like that.
All right. Okay. Whatever works, right?
Yeah.
And how old are you for your third attempt? Presume the most recent. So wait, when was the most recent one?
6.5 years ago.
All right. So between the second attempt and the most recent attempt, we don't need to go into all the details unless you want to, but like how many others are there?
I want to say there's about like 12 in total.
So this isn't pretty common.
Up until my daughter was, my eldest daughter was born.
How many kids do you have?
I have 3.
How many moms are there?
2.
Okay, so 1 with the first, and then you had 2 with another woman.
Yeah, my ex-wife. Yeah, we didn't start dating, I want to say, almost 8 years ago. Her and I had a daughter, Charlotte, and then we had gotten married and then had our other daughter. And then we found out that we were polyamorous.
Hold up, Nick. I love the way you're speaking right now. Here's what's interesting to me. There's 2 things that catch me, and I'm a word guy, okay? One of them's we, because it's suggesting that you had the same epiphany at the exact same moment, which is unlikely, but maybe possible. The other was like found out, and that's it. It's found out. You find out if you're adopted. You find out if your wife's cheating on you. You find that out. You discover, no? Don't you like discover that you're polyamorous?
I mean, potato, I guess.
Well, I would say tomato, but I guess we don't have the same word thing going on here. I think everyone who's listening, including me, gets it. Okay.
I love women. I really do. I would cheat a lot. I would get caught cheating all the time. But when I would do it, I would feel absolutely horrible that I was doing it. It was that want to have multiple relationships that all mean the same to me in their own different ways. That makes sense. There was a moment when my ex-wife and it was on Father's Day, and I was pretty drunk. And we were sitting in the car. I had been wanting to try and build a relationship with somebody else, but we were married, and it kind of just came out. And we had like a 3-hour discussion about it. And come to find out, she kind of felt the same way. That's when we decided to try it. That's been like a miracle for me, because ethical non-monogamy has definitely been the way for me, because I can have a relationship with one person, and that brings something to the table that a relationship with another couldn't, and vice versa. So it's like, I don't know. The best way I can describe it is like, I have one child and then I have another child. I'm not going to love the first child any less.
Sure. A question. When you found out that she was interested in somebody else, there's no jealousy there? There's no like pang of like, fuck.
It's kind of a hurdle to jump over. Of course, there is jealousy. Like in any relationship, communication is going to be key. So as long as you're open about your feelings to them about what's going on and it's reciprocated, it has a higher chance of it working.
I could talk with you about this for a while, but it's different podcast. So you guys, but it didn't work out. You split up.
Yeah, we had a pretty bad argument. She had kicked me out, got a PPO against me, and then served me divorce paperwork.
So, Nick, you're 30, you have 3 kids, you're poly, you have many suicide attempts, several hospital stays. The most recent attempt was about 6 or 7 years ago, right? I'm just summarizing. There's a lot more to you than just that, I know.
It's never a dull moment in the life of Nick.
Right, and big gamer. Okay. The most recent one, I want to know what happened, and I'm also curious to know what your life has been like since. So 6 or 7 years ago, you probably didn't necessarily know then it was going to be your last one, but it has turned out to be your last one. What was going on?
My ex-wife and I had gotten our first place together, trailer, but it was something that was ours. We had a housewarming party, and I had taken acid the night before and I ended up staying up all night and cleaning. I started drinking at like 8 a.m. The party was at 5 is when it started. Then there was one of my sister's childhood friends who decided to show up, and she took advantage of the fact that I was blackout drunk, and her and I ended up hooking up. The next morning I had realized what happened, so I had called my wife at the time and told her, and I was feeling horrible. I was at work. I went home. She had left. I had then tied a belt around my neck and above the door. I attempted to hang myself. I blacked out, and the belt, I had came to, and the belt had broken, and I was on the floor.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question that I'm very hesitant to ask because it sounds like a judgment, but I promise you it's not. At that time, you had 1 or 2 kids?
I had 1. We did not have our daughters yet.
Isn't that crazy that if you had died, these daughters are not here?
I think about that every day.
Yeah, it's sick wild. Now, when you're in your early 20s, this attempt, you got a kid. Isn't that weird?
I didn't. This was before I actually got visitation with him, so that was also really drawing on me. It was a little bit after that attempt, I was able to take my son's mom, to court, and they were able to grant me visitation. But yeah, that was before that had happened.
What do you think has gone on in your life from the last attempt till right now that you haven't tried again? I'm curious also if you've been close or ideating, or if that also went away.
Yeah, I think about it every day. I kind of like put it on the back burner because I feel like I'm no longer living for myself. I'm living for my children.
Right. So if there's people out there, and there certainly are, that don't feel like they have anyone to live for, fucking dangerous.
I would do anything for my children. They're my entire life.
Wow. All right. So are you involved in a relationship now?
I am currently taking a break from relationships and trying to focus on myself.
What does that mean when people say that, focus on myself?
Like building my career. Oh. I've never had like a stable career. And what I do now, the job, it's been the best job I've ever had.
What is it?
It's apartment painting, but we have a ton of apartments, and I'm actually in position to where I'm going to be getting promoted to head painter here soon.
Is this an awkward time to ask for a loan from you?
Yeah, it would be.
Okay, so I won't do it. I don't want to get the boundaries fucked up. So a decent job and loving the shit out of your kids, though, that's good stuff.
It doesn't stop me from thinking about it, though.
Do you think that when that genie, that's open, it just never goes back entirely?
I guess depending on who you are. For me, it's definitely Pandora's box, and I've opened Pandora's box.
I've talked to a lot of people. They're like, I'm not really active, but sure, when I'm driving fast, I think about if I just turn the car to the right. They get creative where they get in this moment and they're like, it would be so easy. It would be so quick.
And plus, I live in the woods, surrounded by a bunch of trees. So
You're really bad at it, Nick.
I'm
Don't know
horrible
what
at
you're
it.
doing. You're not good at hanging yourself, clearly. Sure, you could figure it out if you really wanted to, but not encouraging. Want you to stay alive. Do you want to be alive?
Yes and no. Yes, because I want to spend as much time as I can with my kids. Other than that, non-existent sounds amazing.
You wouldn't know if you were non-existing, though.
And that's the amazing part.
Right.
Like that's the part that sounds the best.
So I know that you were looking for, because remember, like last year, you're looking for, I believe it was a playlist on Spotify around suicide. So was that one of those moments? Like, why?
I guess I'm addicted to feeling sad. I listen to a lot of sad music, and if I could find new playlists to listen to, especially while I'm working, that way I can disassociate, listen to what I'm listening to, and do my job, I'm all for it.
When I say the following words, tell me what I'm thinking about. This might be hard. I'm addicted to being sad or addicted to being sad. Any idea what I'm thinking about?
Being addicted to being sad?
Now I'm thinking about a memoir title.
Oh, God. Yeah. Okay.
You don't have to like it. You can just say, no, pass, but you do know who I am.
I do like it.
You do know the skill set that I bring. I think that's on the table. Can we just leave it on the table for now?
Yeah, let's put it on the table. I like that.
No, it's already on the table. We don't have to put it anywhere. It's there. What I didn't ask you, I don't think, perhaps you shared, because I know that you had been thinking about reaching out. You ultimately did, but I don't know why.
Yeah, it was because you had viewed my profile on TikTok after I looked at yours.
That doesn't tell me why you reached out, though, and wanting to talk, I mean.
Oh, fair. I just feel like I need to, like, after listening to all those other people that have been guests on your podcast, I felt like something that I needed to do.
I feel a little pride. I'm proud of my own work because you're someone that doesn't talk about it.
Yeah, no, I'm a recluse for sure.
Now, I'm going to take a few guesses here, right? I think the number of people who know that we are talking is 0.
Actually, it's 3.
No way. All right, I take it back. Who are they?
My dad, his girlfriend, and one of my coworkers.
Did you soften it and say it's like a mental health podcast?
For my coworker, yes.
Mm-hmm.
My dad and his girlfriend, they've never listened, but
Yeah.
I've talked about it, your podcast a few times to them.
Really? And so what was their response? Chill dad and his probably chill girlfriend.
They overlooked it.
They didn't. Okay. You said the word suicide. That's part of the title. You have to.
I did. I boosted your entire podcast name.
Well, I think I did have 2 new listeners sometime last March. Okay. They're not going to listen, so it won't matter. Do you think they'll listen because you're on here? Or somebody else might?
Maybe if I share it with them.
Though you never know. They might listen and they're never going to tell you. That's the weird thing about this. Probably they don't, but you never, the secrecy, you know?
Right. Yeah, that was the bit enticing about it, is that I could talk about my suicidal past and not many people that I know are going to be listening to it.
Right. And you get to choose if they want to, or at least you could share it with them. They can choose if they want to.
Right.
So how many hospital stays have you had, whether it was pediatric or adult, for mental health, psych stuff?
Want to say inpatient, probably around 12, and then I was in an outpatient for like a month.
Okay. And I know the first time you went, I think it was the first time you went as a kid, you said it was pretty decent. You know, it was all right. Or by and large, were the others pretty decent, or were any of them shitty?
I would say the only shitty thing about going throughout all the times that I've gone is when I haven't been able to hook up while I was in there.
Hook up with a woman?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Are you a sex addict? Love addict, maybe?
Maybe.
I'm using the word addict a little loosely, so if someone's an addict out there, they might get pissed. But, you know, I mean, but there might be some truth to it. I don't know.
It's never been diagnosed, I guess.
Right. We're doing some self-diagnosis here.
Self-diagnosis for sure. Absolutely.
What else you got, whether it's self or from a doctor or a therapist or whoever that you think is right? Let's pathologize the fuck out of Nick right now.
Bipolar disorder, ADHD. I've been told manic depressive, but that kind of like coexists with bipolar disorder. And then it's not called Asperger's now. I guess it's high functioning autism. So I was diagnosed with that as well.
When did you get diagnosed with bipolar?
They wanted to diagnose me when I was a teenager, like one of the first few times I was in the hospital. But they said I was too young to be diagnosed with it. When I had turned 18, they definitely said that I had bipolar disorder.
Have you been treated for it with meds or whatever else?
Like every time they put me on different meds, and then I would stop taking them because I don't like medication.
And do you take meds now for it or anything else?
I just recently got put on Prozac. They're wanting to see how the Prozac works in my system and then potentially add Ritalin back into the mix.
So how are you able to live with bipolar? Essentially, it sounds like for a while unmedicated. Like, doesn't that, I know it can destroy people's lives. For you, it was somewhat manageable or no?
Well, I have no car. I'm living with my grandmother, but I have a good job. I guess it's somewhere in the middle. It's shitty, but it's a manageable shitty.
It's also a good memoir title. It's a manageable shitty.
Yeah. Yep.
That's on the table, and so is Addicted to Sadness. Some of the other things you've said, like, sure, they landed with me, and I was just like, all right, but like, nah, I didn't have, like, there's a certain color. It's just, I can't explain it. It's like, you know what I mean? It's probably like when you're crushing it with, I don't know, certain things with women or on the game. Can't really explain it to people.
I get it, though. It had a magnificently colored aura.
Mm-hmm. And then they'll ask me years from now, they'll ask, how did you know? And it's just one of those moments, and you just take a pause and you look at them and you're just like, I just knew. The subtext there is like, of course you're not. I can't explain it to you. You're never going to get it. Come on. It's like, oh man, I don't know how I have any listeners anymore, Nick. I think when we started talking, you said no one knows I mean, outside of like doctors and hospital staff, nobody knows about your attempts. Were you referring to like the first one or all of them?
The first one.
So there are people that know that Nick has tried to end his life.
Yeah, that has been brought up in the divorce as well, because my ex knew.
Is that being used sort of against you, for lack of a better word?
Yeah, absolutely. She tried to say I was a danger to myself and my children.
They join them together, right? This happens. If you are indeed a danger to yourself, that must mean ...
Right. I feel like they should at least look at the fact that I haven't attempted anything since my daughters were born.
I'm hoping and assuming they're looking at other things too, like how you parent, because you seem like a pretty good dad, but I'm not sure.
Well, the divorce is finalized, and at the beginning of next month, I get joint legal custody over my daughters.
So you see all of them at that point, including your son, your older child.
Mm-hmm. I get a decent amount of time with my children now.
Nice. How many people do you have in your life to talk to about anything really difficult, like ideating or...
Oh, nobody.
Zero.
Absolute zero. Well, one, now that you and I are talking.
Yeah, but this is a one-off, baby, usually. What other than gaming and having sex helps you feel better?
Spending times with my kid.
Sure.
I also make music.
Oh, really? What kind?
It's rap.
You're a rapper?
More of a hobby.
Do you want to rap, or is that asking too much?
Oh, no. My Prozac isn't kicked in that much.
I mean, because sometimes people have read poems or a song they wrote or whatever. I mean, feel free if you want to. In fact, Nick, if you at any point during the rest of our conversation want to just start rapping in like your response to a question, or even if it's more spoken wordy or a hip hoppy, that's cool. I mean, a little texture. Were you inspired at all by another Michiganite called Eminem?
Yeah, no, I do like Eminem, but my rap is more broody than that.
Oh, he's too poppy for you? Too light? Too soft? What's the word?
I like listening to a whole bunch of stuff, so I'll listen to like rap and then heavy metal I like Frank Sinatra and
Oh,
Michael
yeah.
Bublé as well.
Sounds like you got some cool playlists. Are there any myths or misconceptions you want to dispel? I want the one that pisses you off the most.
Like a bunch have already been covered by other people, but in my opinion, suicide is not a wimp's way out. Like someone has to have a lot of strength to even attempt, and the amount of pain that someone goes through where they feel that is the only option, it's unfathomable. And a lot of people are like, well, suicide is a wimpy way out. Like, you're a pussy if you do it. And I really don't believe that. And I feel like there's a good amount of people, especially people who have attempted suicide, that would not agree with that.
Do you ever wish, and this is something you could answer like Nick today or at some point in the past about the past, that any of your attempts had worked?
For both of those, I would say, yeah. I think about it every day. So, like, I do wish it did. But on the other hand, if it did, I wouldn't have my kids.
Right.
So it's a double-edged sword with that one.
And you wouldn't be talking to me, Nick.
Exactly. The highlight of my day.
It made mine too. Pink and Purple Pill for the audience who, if you listened regularly, audience, you would know, but no pressure. You might have found it for the first time today. Thank you for finding it. The Pink and Purple Pill is a pill. It is not real. And in this case, if I give it to Nick and he takes it, he'll go to sleep. He won't wake up ever. There will be no pain and no one will know it's a suicide. And Nick can do any number of things with it, but usually the only three that really make any sense are take it, save it, or chuck it. And I'm asking this on October 22nd, late afternoon, early evening, 2025. What would you do with it?
And you're saying nobody would know it's a suicide.
Well, let me hang on. This is really interesting. I recently had a conversation with someone where he said, I would take it, but I want people to know it's a suicide. And I said, okay, then you can change that. So are you saying that if people knew it was a suicide, that would make it more likely you would take it?
It would make it less likely, for sure.
So if I take, so the original thing is no one knows it's a suicide.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just think you died. And maybe let's go the cause of death at the coroner's office is like a sad heart. I don't know.
Yeah, I would crush it and snort it.
Right now?
Absolutely.
What about your kids? You said that's a big deal for you.
It is. I definitely don't want them to grow up and think, well, we love him. Why would he want to do that to himself? That is a super big block right there. If they didn't know that part, then yeah, I would probably take it. Yeah.
I don't recall for sure, but you might be the first person who, in my mind, you just ingest it. You swallow it, right?
Yeah.
You want to crush it up and snort it. Why? What's the difference? You're going to die.
It might give a different effect on how it works.
I'm going to let you have any effect you want because you're dying. This is your last thing, so you can do whatever you want, you know?
Sure. All the good memories. That's what happens when I crush it and snort it. All the good memories float in my head.
Well, that's an interesting thing I might add to this question. Snorting or not snorting is just like, let's say you have 30 minutes or whatever amount of time as you fade away. Whatever you want to be thinking about, whatever you want, you can have. You think any more in like a dreamlike state, I imagine.
Yeah, probably.
Images, sound.
Like a video.
Rap.
With a little bit of rap playing in the background, sure.
Like, are any of your kids rapping?
No, but I do have a recorded song where I have my girls, like video snippets of my girls, so it has the audio of them laughing and being excited in it.
Nick, if you don't play that song, there's no copyright issues, right? You're not Eminem, Nick.
No.
You're not. No one's going to get sued here. All right, we'll hold off on the song for now. Question, you have not tried in 7 years. How do you think this thing ends?
If I have any say, it's not going to be anytime soon, but if I have any say in how I go, I'm going to be the one to take myself out.
Well, of course you have a say. What do you mean?
If I don't have a say, like if I get sick and pass away that way. But, when I'm old and before I start losing my mind and having to wear diapers, I'm out this piece.
Go write a note?
Hard to say. I've tried to write notes before, but I just it never never felt right.
Yeah. Easier to write a song.
Yeah,
I wonder if anyone's done that. Their suicide note was a song. Probably.
maybe.
I'm sure people put it to song and lyrics and somewhere out there.
Chester Bennington, the lead singer for Linkin Park, I believe it was his last song was Heavy, which was basically saying that it's getting too much to handle, and then he committed suicide. So I could imagine that might have been like his note.
I don't know why I don't ask about notes that often. Certainly if someone brings it up, I'll ask more, but I'm always curious what happens to notes if someone's, whether they die or not, but particularly if they don't die. Like some people save them and some don't. And, it's just like, where do they go? And I think some people think this podcast is that, because I would understand why they would think that with the name, like, oh, it's just a dude reading notes or someone's reading notes, but not that.
That's kind of what I thought it was when I saw that it was a podcast before I actually listened. I think the name is very fitting. I actually really enjoy this podcast. And it's weird to say enjoy, but your goal is to make people feel less shitty and less alone, and that's exactly what it's done for me. It has made me feel a lot less shitty and a lot less alone.
Do you have anything else you want to share?
I do not.
Nothing.
This is about what I've got.
Okay. What's the rest of your evening like?
Probably gonna play some video games until it's shower, shit, and shave time.
Thanks for talking.
Thank you for having me.
You think you'll listen to it?
Yeah, I'll definitely listen.
All right. Yeah, listen to your voice. Listen to this. Hear me.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
As always, thanks so much for listening and all of your support. Special thanks to Nick up in Michigan. Thanks, Nick. If you are a suicide attempt survivor or ideator and you'd like to talk, I'd love to talk with you. Please reach out. The easiest way, email hello@suicidenoted.com. Check out the final poll of 2025 on Spotify. And if you haven't done this yet, if you're an Apple person, rate the damn podcast. Give us 5 stars. It helps. And if you're not going to give us 5, well, then don't do it. Thank you. Appreciate you. Happy New Year. Happy-ish New Year. Whatever that means to you. Thanks for listening. Stay strong. Do the best you can. I will talk to you soon.